Flashlight on. What's going on, y'all? Saturday, March 8th, 1:34 a.m. Just wanted to come on here. The last few days, I have been dealing with this thought. As I may have mentioned before, like earlier on when I first really started making these videos, is moving forward in my life, I am going to take a more selfish approach. And not selfish in the way of totally disregarding everybody else and not having empathy and or sympathy at certain times when things are called for, but selfish in the sense that I'm making sure that I'm taking care of myself and I'm prioritizing myself and not compromising myself for the sake of others. Not compromising myself to the point where I'm not able to do the things that I need to do for the sake of others. And just what else, I'll give you an example, or I'll basically break down what is kind of inspiring this thought. So I had a friend, like an old friend, reach out to me, right? And before I even get into that, I want to talk about last week when I talked to you guys about when you're focused, there are things that are going to present themselves to try to distract you and kind of throw you off of your path. So I had an old friend of mine that I don't really communicate with as regularly as I used to reach out to me and basically try to insert themselves back into my life, right? And while I have a lot of love for this person, I don't see that as something that will be good for me. You know, this person has a lot of their own things going on and things that they've been dealing with. And I felt that there was an attempt to try to aggressively enter what it is that I have going on. And that's just my perspective. I don't know fully that person's intention because that's something I'll never know. Even through the questions I ask, I just don't know exactly what your intention is. But whatever it is, I feel that in my life, it's not the time for that. You know, I have things that I really want to do. I am very focused and I'm putting myself as a priority right now in this season of my life to make sure that I'm able to do the things that I need to do and that I have to do in order to create the life that it is that I want for myself. And I don't want to ever compromise what it is that I have, whether it be my gifts or my time or anything that I hold valuable within myself and within what it is that I have and what I've established and what I've created. I don't want to compromise for the sake of someone else who wouldn't necessarily be able to help me establish myself in the way that I can on my own. What really got me thinking about that was the idea of survivor's remorse. And I was thinking about it last night about how some people feel survivor's remorse. But I don't think that at any point along your journey, and I could stand corrected, but from what I see, I don't think that at any point on your journey should you feel guilty or any negative emotion as it pertains to your blessings. Like, you shouldn't feel guilty for being blessed, nor should you compromise yourself to go out of your way to help people that aren't willing to necessarily help themselves. I do think that with the power that some of us are able to create, or not some of us are able, but some of us choose to create within our lives, I do feel that comes with a responsibility to create opportunity for people to be able to do things in a similar fashion. However, I don't think it's appropriate or necessary or beneficial for said person who's established something to go out of their way to try to help people who aren't necessarily willing to help themselves. And that's kind of where I'm coming at it from, because it wasn't even just him, this has happened a couple times, but I feel that when people try to reestablish their presence in my life, for whatever reason, and I have my life structured in a way that is beneficial for me, I don't like it. I don't like the way it makes me feel. And I feel that if I were to allow people into what it is that I have going on or enter my energy field, that I run the risk of things being sabotaged, whether that be intentionally or unintentionally. And right now within my life, the intention that I have is to establish myself in the best way that I can, so that I can establish my family and ultimately create opportunities for people who need them. However, this is not the time for that, to be doing this and doing this and doing that and spreading myself too thin amongst people who probably won't even appreciate it, because I noticed that people really don't appreciate things when they aren't willing to do them themselves, you know? And that's just what I've learned. So you can go out of your way over and over and over and over again to try to help people, but it's not until these people want to help themselves to where you can really offer something that can be beneficial to them. And that's something that I'm taking the conscious, I'm making the conscious decision to do, because I don't want my opportunity to be squandered by me spreading myself too thin, trying to do this and do that and be everything for everybody, to the point where I can't show up for myself. I'm really in a space, I'm young, I'm 28. I don't have any children. I don't have any committed relationships outside of, my friendships, but in terms of romantic relationships, I don't have any of that right now I don't have any relationships that people feel entitled, to my time. I don't even have a job, so I don't even have that. But I am really focusing on myself, and I feel that should be the focus at this point in my life. I think I need to focus on what it is that I have going on and focus on really developing and building myself. As you all know, I don't, or as I've expressed in the past, there are things within my life and things within my mind and things within my being that I have to feel just due to the circumstances of my life, the things that I've experienced. So right now, as a 28-year-old man, I'm working consciously and diligently to fill these gaps and to make myself a complete person, and just really just making myself into the man that I would admire, and being the best version of myself and understanding what that truly is and showing up for myself in ways that will create that outcome within my life. So I'm really not in a space for compromise right now, because I don't feel that I should have to. And I understand the fact that by doing this and doing that, I'll be spreading myself too thin, ultimately leading to frustration with the world that is really just fueled by a misdirected frustration within myself, because deep down, I know that I'm not showing up for myself in the way that I'm supposed to be. For example, I have another friend, and I try to tell him this, but he doesn't get it yet. He just doesn't understand it yet. But he always makes these posts, and he's always frustrated with the people that he allows to use him. And it bothers me that what I'm telling him doesn't get through, but I'm telling him bro, you have to stop allowing people to pull you in whatever direction it is that they want to pull you, when you know that's not where you want to go, because that creates frustration with them. Because if you commit to it, then they feel that it's something you want to do. So now when they're frustrated with you, you have an attitude, but it's bro, you should have never even committed to that, because that's not something you want to do. And I guess that sentence right there pretty much sums it all. I don't do things I don't want to do, period. I have done in the past, and I've compromised, but you can't even really operate optimally in that space of doing things you don't want to do. And when I say doing things you don't want to do, I mean that, because a lot of things that I do are things that I don't want to do, but I have an understanding that doing that specific thing is going to take me where it is that I want to go. So I'm able to endure that self-inflicted friction, or those moments of hardship, I guess, those manufactured moments of struggle. But when I say, if someone offers you an opportunity and it's totally off base, and it has nothing to do with you or where you are or what it is that you would like to do and accomplish and where you're going, and you accept that opportunity even though you know you don't want to, 9 times out of 10 you're going to give a lackluster performance. And then now that person is going to have an experience with you that is negative, and they're going to be able to say oh, this person didn't show up. Because if you're, like I said before, if you committed to it, then if you commit to being something, then I'm under the impression that you want to do it. Because I'm thinking of, okay, if they didn't want to do it, they would just say they didn't want to do it. People don't have time to think for you. So you have to consciously think for yourself and make decisions that aren't going to pull you off of the path that you're on, you know? So even though, getting back to what I was talking about at the beginning of this video, being that this is somebody that I have developed a strong friendship with in my younger years as a teenager and as a, you know, as an adolescent, right now within my life, this just isn't the time for such energies to be involved with what I have going on. I don't really care, you know. I don't really care to be involved in certain situations because I know that with certain energies, and this isn't anything against specific people, I just know that the way my life is structured, I have to stay disciplined, and that's fine, bro. I don't like, I have no problem saying that. I have no problem expressing that to people. It's like, bro, yeah, this isn't the time. I have my own shit going on. And like, I've even expressed that, but then, you know, some people just still try to laugh and joke and, you know, just try to find their way into what it is that you have going on. But you have to be very intentional about the company you're keeping as you continue to move forward, because you don't need energies around you that can pull you off the track and off the course, whether that be intentionally or unintentionally. You know, some people don't realize that their presence can be a distraction. And that's not to say that it's not to say that they're bad people or they're negative people or whatever. It's just that sometimes you just don't have the space for that. And that's totally fine, bro. You don't have to. And I want all of you to know that, so you don't find yourselves in situations where you're compromising and you don't have the belief or faith within yourself to stand on the things that you say you want to do. That's something you have to be confident in. You have to be a leader. I was talking to Devon earlier today, and he was telling me about the things that he tells his daughter, and he tells her, you have to be a leader, you know, and you have to think for yourself, and you have to do things that you know are right, despite what others feel about you. You know, who cares if they don't want to play with you? Who cares if they don't want to be your friend anymore? That's fine, because your moral compass is pushing you in the direction, and it's serving as a foundation for you to make the right decisions that are going to bring you fulfillment within your own life. And you shouldn't be so focused on making or compromising the things that you believe in to what's the word I'm looking for? To not adhere, but to please other people and what they want, you know, because they're not going to help you get to where it is that you want to go, you know. I was thinking about that in terms of survivor's remorse. I've seen people, and this could probably be a whole nother video, but I'm gonna talk about it now. I don't think people should have survivor's remorse, because when you have the gift, people recognize it. And you'd be fooling yourself if you think they didn't. And you'd be doing yourself a huge disservice by trying to operate on the level of the people that want you to operate on the lower level. Now, I've noticed this. So there was this girl that I went to school with, and she blew up on YouTube, right? And I think even the process of blowing up in these digital spaces, it can be very dehumanizing on both parts, because the people that are watching you may look at you as an opportunity when you just want to feel the connection, but now they're not looking at you as an actual human. They're looking at you as kind of like a come up, especially when you come from lower socioeconomic like classes, to where things are hard, bro. It's hard for people, you know, and people may not have the information or not have been given the resources or tools to really understand the opportunities that are available for them. So when they see people overcome the circumstances that we all have endured, they kind of don't look at you as a human anymore. And I saw this girl, and she went up and then she came down. And just to now look at how people treat her, it's kind of heartbreaking, you know, because now they, not literally, but like metaphorically, they're kind of like spitting on her. And just, I can see this. I be on Facebook and I just be like, damn, everybody, you know, they be hating on this girl, and then like just seeing her, it's just, I'm like, man, that's kind of fucked up, you know. But yeah, no, it's just, you have to just go for it, bro. You have to go for it all, and you can't be afraid of losing things that aren't meant to be there. And you should never compromise yourself to fit in with the group, because like how I said, she's not as popular as she once was. It's gonna be hard to fit back in, you know, because these people are going to be looking at you like, you idiot, you dummy, you know. They're going to resent you, and they're going to say to themselves, boy, if I had your opportunity, if I had their opportunity, you know, I would have done this and I would have done that. So the emotions that they're going to have towards you aren't going to be one of positive intention. You know, it's going to be, they're going to be looking down at you. So it's best that you just go for it, and just go for it without any reservation, without any hesitation, and do what it is that you have to do to create a life that is not only sustainable, but allows you, or creates an overflow to where you then become somebody who can provide opportunity for those that are like-minded, and then pay attention to those that take advantage of the opportunity. Not take advantage in a bad way, but take advantage of the good in the good way, in terms of people that utilize the opportunities that have been given to them. And then when you want to help the people that are willing to help themselves. 50 Cent talked about that in his book, and that's something that really stuck out to me. People only want to help you when you're willing to help yourself. And I get it totally, because it's like, how many of us have been in situations where we saw the potential in people, and we've gone out of our way to try to help them, only for us to end up angry because these people don't believe in themselves. And we've put so much energy, and we've built up this idea of who this person could be within our own minds. And maybe that's our fault for trying to project our ideal version of someone onto them. You know, maybe that's something that we shouldn't do. We're all learning and growing. But I know we can all reflect on a time where we've tried to help somebody, and for whatever reason, they just didn't want the help. It's so much easier to help people that are going to do the job themselves, because it takes less pressure off of the person that wants to help, because you don't feel like everything is relying on you in terms of someone else's livelihood, and not even like their like actual livelihood, but sometimes it could be that, but just their willingness to live and their willingness to get better and evolve as people. So yeah, I would say just be more intentional. You know, I don't want to say selfish, even though I used that word earlier, but be more about you. You know, be more about you, and understand how you can cultivate the gift that you have, and use that gift to then have an impact on the world. But like I've said before, trying to pour from an empty cup is only going to leave you depleted. You need to build within yourself first, and then create an overflow that allows you to share with the world and create opportunities within the world that can have a positive impact. But you're never going to be able to have a positive impact if you don't focus. If you don't focus and get yourself in line with what it is that you're supposed to be doing, and allowing that gift to grow, and by your efforts, sharpening that gift, and sharpening your tools, and sharpening your mind, and sharpening every part of who you are, and then going out into the world, creating positive change from a place that is abundant, instead of from a space that is scarce, you know? And that's just my rant for today, you know? I just wanted to come in here and talk to y'all. It's been a couple of days since I've recorded a video, but I really woke up in a good mood today. I watched the video the other day, and it was talking about switching your mind from being such a consumer to being someone that is a much more intentional creator. And just thinking about being a creator in life in general, this is something we should focus on, is being more of creators instead of being consumers. Another video, which is ironic because that's something I consume, but the dude was like, you've already watched enough videos, bro. You've read enough books. You have all the answers. You just need to go out and do it. And you have to take the steps that are going to allow you to be that person, you know? Cause and effect. But yeah, I didn't want to come on here and stay too long. I've probably been talking for like 20 minutes now. Today was good. I got a good workout in. I was in the gym for like 2.5 hours. Getting it in, bro. Every part of our mind, sharpening every part, from the mental to the physical to the spiritual. Everything is about the sharpening of who you are, and the exploration of life, and also who you are as a person. So I love all of you. Once again, I am grateful to have you even watching this channel. I'm grateful to be able to come here and make these videos, you know. Some people don't get to do this. So I'm grateful that I've been given the path and the opportunity and the gifts that allow me to come on here and speak to y'all, and hopefully I can have a positive change on somebody's life. So yeah, I thank all of you for tuning into this channel. If you've watched this far, or even if you stopped at the beginning, I love all of you. I'm Nick Johnson, aka your favorite cousin. And if I haven't already, I officially welcome you all to the Purple Era. I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Before I'm going, I think this haircut, shout out my nigga Jay Wild. I think this haircut got me feeling great. Real spill.